Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Nathan Fox, that's Ben Olson. We are the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We have an email here from Anonymous.
Okay, apparently Anonymous is in their junior year of undergrad. They've been studying since October, recently switching to the Demon from another prep company. Typically, on a day-to-day basis, says Anonymous, I study anywhere between 2 to 3 hours every single day and take practice tests every Sunday or every other Sunday, depending on the week. I am constantly doing drills on every single type of logical reasoning question. Okay, I'm nervous about that already.
Yep, me too. Why are you doing that? When did we tell you that you need to drill by question type?
Nope. Yeah, just drill Demon's Choice and let the question types come to you randomly. That's the best way to learn.
In fact, almost guaranteed learned that from their previous prep company.
Yeah,
we see right. The name of your previous prep company. I'm going to choose not to dunk on them by name this time.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that they are heavy-handed about drilling by type.
Yeah.
Like problem sets.
Yeah.
Where it's just like do 100 necessary assumption questions in a row.
Yeah.
Let me be clear. Don't do 100 necessary assumption questions in a row.
Yeah.
That's not helping you because question identification is so important. That's why you should always do mixed drilling. Do mixed drilling because figuring out what they're asking you is a big part of the game.
Yeah.
And if you're narrowing it down to type, you know what they're asking you before you even start reading the argument.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Not good.
I mean, you probably also learned to read question type first.
Yeah.
From this same company. And that's interfering with your logical reasoning performance. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Stop reading the question first. Stop drilling by type. Do random drilling and read the passage first, not the question first.
So I agree with that 100%. Anonymous continues, I'm constantly doing drills on every single type of logical reasoning question type. And I'm averaging 85 to 90% of the questions correctly.
That's kind of bad. Honestly, like if I gave you nothing but just one type of question.
Yeah.
And your accuracy is still as low as 85%, I want you to slow down to where you're just not going to miss questions. So I'm assuming that Anonymous is going to think that 85 to 90% is really good. I'm not saying it's really bad, but I am saying that for every one you miss, there's another one that you didn't really understand. So if you're missing 10 to 15% of them, then I think you're not understanding 20 to 30% of them. And so, like your actual comprehension of what you're doing is kind of lower than that accuracy number might indicate.
Yeah, it's a little tough because I wonder where Anonymous is getting that number, because in drilling, as you do better, it gives you harder questions. So it's not surprising that sometimes people get questions wrong. But
because it's just giving you harder and harder and harder questions. And like, yeah, I mean.
So 85 to 90% is not good for time section accuracy, but for drilling, it might not be surprising.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although drilling is also untimed. Mm-hmm. So like, you should be doing one question and solving it.
Yeah.
I think people don't drill correctly. In fact, I'm positive people don't drill correctly. I know that people drill too fast.
Just trying to crank it out. Yeah.
I just want to get it right. Pulling the lever on the slot machine. I just want to see if I got it right.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe I read the description of the correct answer in the explanation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Let me do another one. That's not doing it right. You need to slow way down so that you don't make mistakes. Then when you do make a mistake, that's your job for the rest of the day, is to figure out how you made that mistake.
Yeah.
Be clear about it. Why is the right answer right? Why didn't you pick it? Why is the wrong answer wrong? Why did you pick it? You made at least 2 mistakes when you missed that question. Be honest with yourself. Confront that weakness now instead of just moving on and doing another question. I'm sure that's what people do when they drill.
Yeah.
There should be like a governor on the, like a speed limiter on drilling.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're submitting an answer already? You sure about that?
Try again.
I mean, especially when people miss a question.
Yeah.
Be like, you sure about that?
Not a bad
All right,
idea.
want to continue?
Yeah. So then Anonymous says, more recently, I've been drilling on question types that I've been struggling with more, but I'm actively still drilling question types that I'm really good at. Okay.
When you read the next paragraph, you will realize 1,000%
Oh my gosh.
that this student has no business drilling by question type.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I see where we're going. Okay. Anonymous continues, circling back to my diagnostic back in October, I scored a 138. Ever since then, the highest I've ever scored is a 142. Today, I ended up taking a practice test and scored a 129. As you could only imagine, this was heartbreaking for me. I feel like I commit so much time to studying to see no progress, and this is nowhere near my goal score. I originally had my LSAT test scheduled. My last.
I think they meant LSAT.
Oh, okay. My LSAT test scheduled for January, but pushed it back to April a couple days ago because I do not feel ready at all, especially not after today.
Yeah, you're not ready. You're not close to ready.
You're not close to ready, and you're not close to doing anything when it comes to deciding what to study. You're trying to engineer this by choosing types that you're struggling with, but also continuing types that you're very good at. You're not good at any of them. Right now, you just need to do Demon's Choice and focus on getting one question right at a time. That may mean doing one or two questions every time you sit down to study.
Yeah, per study session.
Yeah.
Do one question and get it right. But if you miss that question, just imagine me sitting there going, what? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because I do have to be really frank with Anonymous. If you score a 129 on a timed test, you understood almost nothing. Like, you did almost nothing of value. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that because you need to have a serious come to Jesus with yourself about insisting on understanding what you're reading. At a 129, you are understanding almost nothing. Like, you could fill in answers at random and get a 124 or 125.
Mm-hmm.
So you spent 2.5 hours and you added this much value to a scale that's this wide. The way that happens is you do too many questions without understanding anything.
Yeah.
Like, this idea that there are question types that you're really good at. No, you're not. You're not good at any of the tests because you're not understanding what you're reading. So you need to forget about question types entirely.
And practice tests.
Right. Never take a full practice test. Do a mix of drilling and time sections. Once you start getting time sections that are like, you're getting 15 right on a time section or something, then you can start doing full tests again if you want. But you really don't need to, because what you need to do is slow way down and actually understand what you're reading. And right now, boy, you're adding almost no value. Whatever you're doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. I hate to be, and again, I'm really not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to beat you up, but I do need to shake you out of whatever you're currently doing because you're just not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not doing legal work. You're not getting paid for the work you're doing. So you need to slow way down on individual questions. You need to read the argument first, not the question. And you need to get out of your own head with like whatever you think you understand about question types is laughable. Mm-hmm. Really. I mean, I'm laughing at your like, if I guarantee that if I sat down with this student and I started talking to them about the question types, there is no way that they would be able to articulate anything correctly about the question types. Like, they do not understand the buckets. Even.
Yeah.
So, like, you've been doing, and I feel for you, Anonymous. Like, I'm on your team. Okay. I'm trying to, but sometimes the coach needs to, like, sort of shake you into the moment. And, like, trust me when I say you don't understand anything about question types, and you don't even need to at this point.
You need to focus on, how do I understand the next sentence in front of me?
Yeah. And to the extent that you are going to think at all about about classifying the questions that they're asking you on logical reasoning, since that's what you showed up asking about, start thinking about 2 broad families of question types instead of 10 or 12 or 15 or however many you learned at your previous prep program. Just stop thinking about all that nomenclature and instead just think about, is the record closed or is the record open? In other words, are they asking me a question that is related to what did it say? Or are they asking me a question that says, which one of the following, if it were true, would have some bearing on what they said?
Nathan, I think where you're going is good, but I think for anonymous,
or not even do that.
We're not even there yet. I think it's just like, do you understand what each sentence in that argument is saying? Do you feel like you understand what that person is trying to argue to you? And then whatever the hell the question is, now try to understand the question. I think, who cares? Who cares about what the type is? And just try to answer the question in light of what you now fully understand about the passage.
I agree. I take it back. But I mean, you can, there's not really a difference between strengthen and weaken. And there's not really a difference between must be true and supported.
Yeah. Yep.
Strengthen and weaken are about changing the record. Which one, if it's true, is going to change things here?
Yeah.
And must be true and supported questions and necessary assumption questions and role questions and a lot of other questions are simply asking you, what did it say in the record?
Mm-hmm.
What happened in the record? So when they're asking you a question, are they asking you what happened in the record, or are they asking you which one, if true, does something?
Yeah.
That's really all you need to know about question types at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And probably all you need to know about question types, full stop, at least until you get to what? 150?
Yeah. I mean, there are people who score in the high 160s without knowing anything about question types.
Right.
Or
my
even
buddy Mike.
Higher. Yeah.
Here in LA, who I've been spending a lot of time with over the holidays. My buddy Mike sat down, did a test cold, and got like a 165.
Yep.
That's without knowing jack shit about any question types. Just walked in and took the test.
Yeah.
Because he was just reading what they were asking me. And sometimes they're asking me to represent what was in the record. Other times they're asking me which one, if true, would change things in the way that they're asking me for it to be changed. So, to the extent that you are going to be thinking about question types at all, I think that's all you should be thinking about. But you really just need to be backing way off and understanding one sentence at a time. Anonymous says, my goal is to go straight from undergrad into law school. I don't think that's a good goal to have. I think that's a counterproductive goal that you have right now.
Yep. How come?
Like you're thinking about, you're miles away from where you need to be before you start thinking about actually applying to law school. So you should be sorting out your grades first. Anonymous is in their junior year of undergrad. Do you think they have a 4.0 right now?
Probably not. Most people don't. And
most people don't. And you can differentiate yourself in the eyes of the law schools by getting a 4.0. If you haven't gotten a 4.0 so far, it'd be awful nice if you could get a 4.0 in your latter part of your junior year and in your senior year and in your 5th year potentially. And, maybe you need to pump the brakes on LSAT studying. Maybe you need to unsubscribe from LSAT Demon while you work on your grades.
Yeah.
You only get one shot at that. And when you're done with that, you should be thinking about the LSAT, or if you've got that under control, and I mean literally getting straight A's, then you could also study for the LSAT at the same time. But there's no bonus points to going K through JD. I mean, in fact, I think there's significant detriments to going K through JD.
Yeah, well, it puts you on a timeline that's arbitrary, unnecessary, and now forces you to squeeze in your grades and your LSAT study before the end of your senior year.
Yeah, and what would happen is people fail at both.
Yeah.
I mean, Anonymous is investing all this time and just totally failing at the LSAT right now.
So then what's happening with the grades? Yeah.
I mean, if it's hurting your grades at all, then your current LSAT prep is actually hurting your law school admissions case.
Yeah.
So consider stopping LSAT prep while you work on your grades. If your grades are perfect, then you could keep LSAT studying. If you're going to do that, I hope it's with us. And I hope you'll just back way off and focus only on one question at a time and actually understanding what you're doing.
Yep.
Stop taking the full tests. Stop drilling by question type. Read one question at a time, one sentence at a time, one word at a time, and let the test become easy because you're actually understanding what you're reading. Right now, it's got to be so bewildering for Anonymous. Imagine what that would feel like to sit there for 2.5 hours and get a 129. And I'm not talking about the shock of the 129. I'm talking
Just
about how it would actually feel.
Yeah.
Because you're just doing the test in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Anonymous, for writing in.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know how it goes. Please write us back.
Mm-hmm.
Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you would like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.